What's up, guys? TheDevildogGamer here, and we're back with another Escape from Tarkov video. We're going to be covering Shoreline, a little bit of a key and a loot guide, but only covering the ones that I feel are actually worth it. But before we get started, I would like to thank Swagbucks for sponsoring today's video. If you've never tried Swagbucks is a site where you can earn some quick cash by doing surveys, watching videos, testing games, and even online shopping. I've used it before. It's definitely a good way to get some quick little money. And, if you're looking to get Escape from Tarkov or maybe upgrade your package, don't have a job, this is definitely a way to grab some extra cash. So definitely check it out in the description below. And you actually get a $5 bonus for signing up. So this is something you guys would definitely like to do. But anyways, back to Escape from Tarkov. So there are a ton of keys and a ton of areas to loot in Shoreline. Shoreline Resort is now the loot capital of Tarkov, and it's very easy to walk out of Shoreline with tons of money, basically. You should a minimum 300,000 rubles worth of stuff. Now, there are two different things. Right now, I am walking towards the East Wing. This is the one that is closest to Road of Customs. This is where I like to start because it has one of the best rooms to loot, and it's super, super important to hit it right away. So you're going to go straight up to the third floor, and you're going to be looking for East Wing, room 310. So it's right over here to the staircase. You go run in, boom, right here at the end of the hallway. Always check it because that door animation will get you killed. This room has a chance to spawn Bitcoin, Rolex, cats, money, gold chains, chainlets, clocks, lions, and they can all spawn at the same time. I've seen a Bitcoin, lion, Rolex, and 2 gold chains at the same time. This is your money-making room. It is insane. And you actually find this key in Customs. It's actually at the truck stop. And in the truck stop, there is a bus that will spawn the key on one of the seats. It is a rare spawn, so you're really going to have to, do it multiple times. And this is one of those keys that nobody really gets and nobody really hits because it's such a rarity. But anyways, next up, we're doing East Wing 305. Now, 305 and 306 are connected, so you can either get the 306 key or the 305 key, and they both have weapon crates. There's tons of money on the desk and the computers. There is a chance for DVL and gold coins, so you can either get 305 or the 306 key. It doesn't really matter too much, but it's definitely a good room to hit just for the money that's on there anyways, and computer parts everywhere. It's a good money-making room. And you're gonna find the 305 key behind the Shoreline, down near the little the dumpsters and everything. It'll be on one of those boxes that you can, and it'll sit there and you can loot it and get it from there. It's definitely worth to get, especially since you're already hitting 310. 305 is definitely right there. And next up, we got West Wing 301. The reason I like to do the West Wing last is because that's where usually everyone heads first. And at least with hitting East Wing from room 310 and 305, you can get some decent stuff and at least fill your gamma worth of stuff that, will recoup your loss more per se if you do die. But 301 has the chance to spawn an SV98. It is pretty rare, but you'll find graphics cards, money. There's multiple crates. You can sometimes find stuff in the crates, and plenty of med supplies. It is a good room to hit, especially for the SV98 spawn, with it being so tiny and it's easy to conceal in a backpack. It's a really good thing to hit, so definitely one of those things you want to check out. And the key for that is located in the yellow bus, right there near the treasure island in the tunnel spawn. It'll be on one of those seats. Just go on through, take a look for it. It's another rare spawn, but you're just right there near the extraction, so you always want to check it out when you hit there. Next up is the infamous drop room. That is right, there's actually a key for this room. This room is a huge money maker with money being everywhere, an M4 spawn. You can get 2 DVLs. We've gotten 2 DVLs from it, and almost always there's a VSS in the bathroom. This is a really important room, and having the key is also really advantageous because a lot of people will do the drop-down method and get themselves stuck. When they hear movement, the first reaction of them is to face out onto the the balcony thinking someone's going to drop down, when no, you just open a door behind them and you smoke them from that way. This room is a really good room to hit. It's always a priority. It does get hit a lot lately, but it has just so much good stuff, and a lot of people do bypass it. There's almost always a VSS or an M4 or a DVL, so it's a very, very good room to hit and can get you a ton of money pretty quick. And you can also get a ton of money just by picking up cash, so it's always important to pick up cash and do stuff like that. You need to pick up your cash. You can easily walk out with 1,000 euros, 1,000 USD, and 10, 20,000 rubles. So that's worth it right there. I mean, 1,000 euros is 100,000 USD, so, or 100,000 rubles. So that's pretty important. And this key you will find on the beach. It will be located on one of the chairs. I can't really remember which chair it was, but it's down on the beach on one of the chairs. You got to look around a little bit because it's definitely hidden. But this is a very rare key, and it's very hard to spawn, to see in the spawn. So you definitely got to check it out and hit it multiple times. Now the next up is the West Wing 220, which is pretty much right across the hall from the drop room. This room in the corner box has the chance to spawn bitcoins, clocks, lions, gold chains. It is a good room to hit Rolexes. It has a few weapon cases, so it's definitely worth checking out. You can get some pretty crazy money from it. And since it's right across the hall from drop room, it's pretty much on your most obvious choice of paths. Just one and then hit the other. And it's really a good room to hit. Now, the weird part about it is this key is actually located in the locked estates. Now, the locked estate, we'll talk about the loot there, but the way you find the key for the locked estate is right over here, these blue barrels, you'll find the cottage key for it. Pretty much right next to the locked one, you'll find the cottage key, and then the back door, you go and unlock that. And in that cottage, you'll find a safe, a few weapons crates that have a chance to spawn DVLs, and a few other things. And on the chair, you will find the key for 220. This is definitely a good spot to hit too, especially if you want to avoid the health resort or you're on your way out to tunnels and you need somewhere to stop and check. Some other tips for Shoreline is, even if you hit these rooms and you get some semi-decent loot, be greedy. Go look for more stuff. Same if you hit the rooms and they've already been hit. There are so many rooms with just random boxes, and even though the boxes have been nerfed to where the loot isn't as good as it used to be, and the world drops are still there, which is why we get DVLs and VSSs and M4s spawning around, there's always going to be something to get out of it. Don't ever leave with an empty backpack, especially Shoreline. You can throw hand guards, grips, and flashlights and shit, and still make a profit. It's always worth it to leave with making something out of the raid. You don't want to leave the raid empty-handed. Don't just go and be like, oh, well, all the loot was gone. I can't find an M4. There's no bodies and nothing. Fill that shit up. Grab med supplies so you don't have to buy med supplies. The first floor is just filled with nothing but Salewas, morphines, all kinds of stuff like that. There's just shit everywhere. These are my favorite spots to hit because they consistently give the most from the start, which gives you a chance to at least hit them before everybody else does, and then you can kind of go and fuck around and kill people, which is my strategy to it. Grab as much of the good loot as possible, continue on with the raid. If I find people to kill, awesome, I can trade some of it out. If I don't, at least I have something that's, gotten me some money. I have probably over 20 million rubles right now, and it's all because Shoreline consistently gives out the best loot possible. And if you hit these spots early, before everybody else gets there, you will consistently get money from it. But always pick up the cash, because it's always safe in your gamma, or get a wallet as soon as possible. And hit these rooms first, before anything else. That's why I like to hit 310. 310's always the first one up, because it gives out the bitcoins and the small things that I can throw in my gamma that'll get me a ton of money. I mean, a bitcoin's like 120,000 rubles. I mean, right there, that pays for most people's gear. So as long as you can get a bitcoin from there, and then a Rolex is 75,000 rubles, you've gotten pretty much your entire loadout paid for. So if you die, it's oh well, I've been dying a lot lately, but because of these loot runs and the way I do them, I'm still making money even after replacing my gear. which is what you want to kind of strive for, being able to make money even though you're replacing. And that's when you know you're doing the loot runs correctly. If you end up getting like 2 DVLs at VSS, there's no shame in leaving the raid. There really is no shame in leaving the raid. You don't have to stay and fight. That's, you know, if you get that good haul, leave. Don't, you know, if you don't want to risk it, that's fine. I mean, once you got enough shit in your stash to where you feel like risking it, then you can continue on and do it. But if you don't have a lot of stuff in your stash, get the fuck out. There's no shame in it. Get out, get that money, and start working on building your stash. But anyways, guys, I hope this guide helped you guys out a lot. There are a lot of keys, there are a lot of rooms, there are more points of interest, but these are my favorite ones that I feel consistently give the best gear in the shortest amount of time. But anyways, guys, I'll talk to you later. Peace.